How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. And of course, with that, guys, we're going to be continuing on with reading this book, The Island to the Creature. This is part 3. Make sure you guys check out part 1 and part 2 of this book. And with that, let's roll. Chapter 3, Beach Base Broken. The next day, the group of 7 awoke from their separate rooms and was eating cereal for breakfast. You know, Kate, that we haven't eaten anything but water, coconuts, and deer meat for the past 8 years. This cereal is like a candy bar to us, said Sawyer. I'm glad that you are all enjoying it, replied Kate. Everyone was sitting in metal chairs with a bowl of cereal, a cup of orange juice in a glass, and buttered toast. Where did you get all these supplies? Asked John to Kate. Like I said before, I met Sue many times before her death, near the birdcage, and she would bring stuff for me from her bunker, said Kate. Everybody listen, said Chris, no longer eating his cereal. What is it, son? Asked Chris. I heard something thumping on the ground, answered Chris. It's probably nothing, said John, placing his bowl in the sink that had cereal in it. Everybody listen, said Kate, hearing the thumping on the ground as well. There are no creatures on this island, so we can leave this cabin now and travel to Beach Base, said John. I wouldn't travel outside in that brittle cold weather right now, said Jack. Why? Asked John to Jack. There might be creatures out there, said Jack. Fine, those that want to come with me, we are leaving now, and those that wish to stay here can do so, said John. John opened the door and saw 2 creatures. John closed the door and looked at the others behind him. We are in for a battle today, said John. Kaboom! The group looked to see that the ceiling to see that something was digging into the building, hosting the humans. Chris looked to see an unusual object moving towards the cafeteria. The object was able to be clearly made out as a yeti, with white fur, dark black eyes, 8 feet tall, and razor claws on his 2 feet and 2 hands. We have a yeti outside, said Chris. Kaboom! The ceiling had opened up, allowing the humans to see what appeared to be a gigantic spider, capable of surviving in freezing temperatures. The orange and black dotted spider continued to break down the ceiling until there was a large enough hole to enter the building and eat the humans inside. John, get everyone to the basement while I distract the spider and the yeti, said Kate. John opened the door to the basement, and he, Bobby, Nick, Sawyer, and Chris hid inside of empty shipping crates and prepared for the worst. Jack stayed to help his wife and used his machine gun. The spider and the yeti crashed on the wooden floor to prepare for breakfast. Kate decided to use the rocket launcher to kill the creatures that had made a hole in her cabin, aimed it at the spider, and missed. The yeti tossed Jack down the stairway to the basement, and Jack entered a crate. Kate reloaded her launcher, fired it at the spider's head, and killed it at last. The spider's body collapsed to the ground with ooze all over the floor and brains and guts lying on a table from the explosion. Kate reloaded her 3rd rocket, and the yeti prepared to eat her head and the rest of her body. Kate locked onto the yeti and fired the rocket, yet the creature leaped up to dodge it. Kate ran down the stairs, hid in a crate, and reloaded her launcher with the last rocket. It didn't take long for the yeti to find the door to the basement where the humans were hiding. The yeti moved slowly down the stairs and approached the crate that Chris was inside. The yeti began to lift the lid off of the crate, and just when the yeti took the lid off, Kate came out of her crate and shot the creature in the back of the head, resulting in the creature's death. Everybody got out of their crates and raced up the stairs. Kate placed her rocket launcher on a nearby table, and suddenly 2 gigantic mouths entered through the hole in the ceiling. What is going on? Asked Nick. Questions later. To the pickup truck, said Kate. The group dashed out of the cabin, saw two Spinosauruses on the west side of the building, and entered the pickup truck. Bobby started up the engine and drove towards Beach Base. Kate, Sawyer, and Nick were in the back area of the truck, while Jack, John, and Chris were with Bobby in the truck. Roar! Everybody turned around to see the Spinosauruses chasing them. Roar! Kate, throw your grenades at them, said Jack. Kate, after listening to Jack, began throwing grenades at the ground, but all it did was make the Spinosauruses more furious and callous at the humans. Bobby pressed down on the gas pedal, and the truck began to go to 110 miles per hour, yet the dinosaurs were gaining. Every weapon was being used against the Spinosauruses, yet nothing was injuring or slowing them down. Kate began to realize that the grenades weren't working, ceased the use of them, and watched Sawyer and Nick use their machine guns on the beasts. Suddenly, the truck hit a large log, and Kate was hurled out of the back end of the truck. The truck was put to a halt, and Kate ran back into the back of the truck, just before being eaten by the Spinosauruses. The Spinosauruses were so close to the truck that Kate tossed a grenade into one of the dinosaurs' mouths. Kaboom! Roar! One down, one to go, said Kate. Kate, use grenades on that Titanic terror, said Jack. I have no more, said Kate. Use this then, said Jack, passing Kate a box of landmines. Kate passed the box to Sawyer and Nick to help dump the hundreds of landmines to kill the Spinosaurus. Kate lowered the back latch and helped the two men release the death trap. The landmines dumped out of the box onto the ground and were smashed by the Spinosaurus's feet, and suddenly exploded. Great job, everyone! Let's use the last of this truck's fuel to reach Beach Base. There we can discuss how there are more creatures and dinosaurs on this island, said Jack, seeing the Spinosaurus's remains on the dirt ground and the sides of trees. 1 hour later, the group arrived at Beach Base. The pickup truck was parked outside of the base, and the group entered the area through the metal door. The cabin's exterior made the cabin appear gloomy to Kate, and that an older man had just visited and sawed down every tree, resulting in all the twigs on the roof and the sides of the cabin. The cabin's interior was microscopic, with a peppery smell, a bathroom door that screeched when in motion, and nearly every object inside was made of wood. Beach Base's cabin made Kate's cabin look like a palace in heaven. Kate also found out Sawyer stating they had no cereal was true when she decided to make lunch for the group. Everyone sat down in wood chairs. Everyone sat in wood chairs, Kate being in one that belonged in the living room, and everyone wondered how more creatures were on the island. The men spent minutes discussing the possibilities of the return of the creatures that they thought to be killed until Kate spoke up. I know why there are more creatures on this island, said Kate. The men focused their attention on Kate and wondered what her theory was about the issue at hand. What's your theory, honey? Asked Jack, looking at Kate across from the table. This is not a theory, but the facts, said Kate. Go on then, and prove your point, said Jack. When Sue met me in my cabin for the first time, she told me of many secrets, including her bunker and the time machine, said Sue. Sue also told me that this was the second island Pirate Flint placed his gold eggs on, and that Flint planned to place them on a nearby island until it sank underwater, Kate continued. A small percent of the gold eggs were left on the island because of an earthquake that sunk the island and his submarine, forcing Flint to place the rest of his treasure on this island, Kate continued. Flint built a submarine back in 1200, asked Jack. No, more like 1199, replied Kate. Do you know where the submarine is located? Asked Jack. Yes, it is on the other island, answered Kate. If the second island was above water, how would we reach the island with no boat or helicopter? Asked Jack. There is a land bridge that would rise if the second island rose up out of the water that connects the two land masses, said Kate. So you think that the earthquake that rumbled the island rose up the second island, a land bridge, Flint submarine dock in a submarine, and more creature eggs? Asked Jack. I don't think. I know, yelled Kate. Okay, okay, I believe you, said Jack. I believe you too, said John, and seconds later everyone else said the same. After everyone believed in Kate's facts, the group left the cabin and looked to the sky to see a familiar sight. Coming east was another plane that appeared to be having the same system failures as Flight 193, and everyone hoped the crew survived the inevitable terror that was about to occur. I pray that most of the people on board live, said Jack, watching the plane finally crash and on the second island located south of Beach Base. What are we going to do now? Asked Sawyer to Jack. Kate, do you know where the land bridge is at? Asked Jack. Yes, south of my cabin where the creatures are most likely crossing. Onto this island from the second island, replied Kate. Good. In the morning we are leaving to find survivors of the plane crash, find Flint submarine, and at last escaped this cursed area, said Jack. There is something else I should inform you all of, said Kate. Why, did you misinform us of a detail in the cabin? Asked Bobby, in a rude tone. Sue told me that when the second island rises up, both islands will sink together for 1,000 years, said Kate. How long do we have until that happens? Asked Sawyer. 6 days, replied Kate. The group was shocked at the information Kate seemed to have been given by Sue, and wondered if Kate had other secrets she was not telling anybody about. The day continued with the group preparing for the long trip ahead of them by stocking up on food and ammunition from the basement of the cabin. The group went to bed, and all of the members of Beach Base were asleep before midnight. Around 8 a.m., Chris awoke to the sound of unfamiliar footsteps. Chris left his bed and journeyed to each room to discover the source of the noise, only to realize that he was the only person out of bed. Chris checked the last room in the cabin that was empty to see the bathroom had a smashed window. Chris looked outside and was motionless and speechless. Raptors and T-Rexes had broken into Beach Base. The truck, the metal door, and the spike-like perimeter were all destroyed. Kabang! Chris turned around to see a raptor body fall to the ground, and Kate with her shotgun. Everybody awoke from their beds, armed themselves with their weapons and supplies, and looked out of the smashed window to see raptors and 2 T-Rexes. Let's run for the tunnel in the shaft that will come out past Kate's cabin and near the land bridge, said Nick. Only problem is reaching the shaft without having to battle these dinosaurs, said Bobby. Smash! A T-Rex had smashed into the side of the cabin near the humans. The T-Rex opened his mouth large and wide to eat the humans and looked at John that was trapped by a pile of heavy wood tiles on his chest. The T-Rex mouth was now towering over John's body, and seconds later it grabbed hold of the hunter's feet. Help me! Yelled John, yet the rest of the team was unburying themselves from fallen tiles as well. The T-Rex pulled John out of his entrapment and swallowed him whole. The T-Rex moved towards Kate and began to choke. Jack quickly pulled Kate out of her entrapment and towards the rest of the group that was free, and saw John's 12 knives jammed into the roof of the dinosaur's mouth. Even though John and his machine gun was eaten and digested by the T-Rex, John killed the T-Rex after his own death with his knives. The body of the T-Rex fell into the cabin and was proclaimed dead. Kate tossed her shotgun on the floor because she was out of ammunition, and Jack gave his wife his second machine gun and several clips of bullets. Where did you get a 7th machine gun from when there are only 6 of you? Asked Kate. I found it south of here on the beach with women's footprints, replied Jack. That was Sue's, once, replied Kate. The group cautiously left the cabin and headed south towards the shaft that had the entrance to the tunnel. The group moved slowly towards the shaft and pulled down some wood planks to see a T-Rex and about 25 raptors surrounding the entrance on the north side of the building. The team moved away from the shaft's west side to the north side, using the trees for cover, and ducked behind several trees and looked past sharp bushes to see the savage dinosaurs roaming around the area and not leaving. The humans looked at each other, wondering what they were going to do in order to kill a T-Rex and at least 21 raptors. Bobby accidentally kicked rocks down towards the shaft, alerting the great beasts of death. "We don't have the weapons or numbers to kill them," said Nick. Jack heard something and turned around to see 4 raptors ready to kill. The rest of the group looked behind and realized that to turn back was impossible, and the only way to survive was to travel towards the shaft. The team dashed into the area and began blasting away and killing off 15 raptors. The team dashed into the shaft through an open door, bolted every door and window shut, and nailed wood planks into the ceiling to help repel the dinosaur outside. "Everyone into the tunnel!" yelled Jack. Roar! Smash! The T-Rex and the remaining raptors were beginning to smash apart the shaft. The team began to climb down the built-in metal ladder, one person at a time, into the tunnel, and Jack watched the dinosaurs break into the building, open fire with his machine gun, and blasted bullets into the eyes of the T-Rex. Jack dashed down the ladder into the tunnel and joined the others that were running in the tunnel. The remaining 5 raptors came down into the tunnel and dashed after the humans. While running for their life, Sawyer and Nick used their machine guns and killed the 5 raptors that were chasing them. The group took a short break to breathe and realized John Russell was dead and that Beach Base was no longer safe. "Let's keep going, people. We have a long walk ahead of us," said Jack. The group of 6 continued west in the tunnel until they reached the large drilling machine. Bobby and Nick aimed the drill into the ceiling and drilled until a large hole was made to climb out of. Minutes later, the drill stopped with the drill head sticking out of the tunnel. "We're going to have to climb the drill and the drill head to reach the surface," said Nick. One by one, the members of the group climbed out of the tunnel, using the machine as a ladder. Once everyone was out of the tunnel, they all looked around to no longer see snow falling, but a sun shining. "There it is," said Chris, pointing his right hand south. The rest of the group looked to see a second island and a land bridge directly in front of them. The squad of armed humans with only machine guns walked across the land bridge, stepped onto the second island, and looked east in the sky to see smoke rising. "That must be the plane that crashed," said Chris. "And that is where we are headed," said Jack, leading the group towards the plane wreckage. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this. This is going to be the end of part 3. Look forward to part 4 coming out very soon. You guys have a good one.